Okay, we are on Daf Kof Yod Zayin on the bottom, and we'll be covering Daf Kof Yod Chet 118. And today is a lot of beautiful agadot about enjoying Shabbat and the different meals that we eat on Shabbat. And by the way, we'll learn some other nice agadot. So we're starting with the Mishnah that said Kesad Nafla Deleka, right? If there's, it depends on, you're allowed to save 3 meals, the Mishnah says, and depending on what time of the day, if you could save 3 meals, if it's Friday night, someone has a fire in their house Friday night before they eat, then they can go in and save 3 meals. If it's in the middle of the night, then they can save 2 meals because they already ate. If it's the afternoon, then they can save 1 meal. That's the Tanakama. And the minority opinion says you can save, the BOS says you can save 3 meals no matter what, anytime. That's the maximum, and it doesn't matter even if you already ate already. Okay, so that's what we're going to talk about, the different laws of eating 3 meals. Tanu Rabbanan. Kama seudot hayav adam le'echol b'Shabbat. How many do you actually have to eat? Shalosh. The answer is 3. Rabbi Chidka omer arba. The majority opinion says 3. Rabbi Chidka says 4. אמר רבי יוחנן, ושניהם מקרא אחד דרשו. ואמרו משה, אכלו היום, כי שבת היום, היום, לא תמצאו בשדה. So this is after the man fell, and Moshe said, you got to go and get twice on double on Friday, and none on Shabbat. And then there were some people that went out and gathered anyway on Shabbat. Obviously, there was nothing there. So Moshe there says, you have to eat it today, and you can't save any for the next day. And in this pasuk, it says the word hayom 3 times. So we learn from the 3 times it says hayom that you have to have 3 meals. That would be the first opinion. Rabbi Chidka sabar hanetilata hayom lebar me'urta. Rabbi Chidka, who says 4, would explain that when Moshe says 3 days hayom means 3 days, 3 meals during the daytime. That's besides the one that was at night. So 1 at night plus 3 in the day, you get 4. But and the rabbis think that the hayoms include the meal that would be at night. Okay, so that's we said in the Mishnah that we're going to try to prove and disprove each one of these opinions. From our Mishnah, it says if the fire fell on Friday night, Asilin Mazon Shalosh Seudot. My love, de la achal, isn't the simple reading of the Mishnah is that he didn't eat yet, and it's just Friday night, just after Shabbat started, and so he has to have 3 meals to come. That proves the opinion of Rabbanan, and only 3. It says, lo de achal. Rabbi Chidka can say, maybe it means he ate already, and the fire happened on Friday night after he ate, so he had 1 already, and now we have 3 more. Okay. In the morning, he can save 2 meals. My love de la achal, isn't that before he had the first meal of the day, and there's only 2 left? That means 3 altogether, not 3 altogether, not 4. La da'achal. Again, Rabbi Chidka can say that he didn't eat the second meal yet. My love de la achal. In the afternoon, he can save 1 meal. That before he ate, la da'achal. He already ate. He already ate 3 meals, and yet he can save another one. So in other words, you can interpret our Mishnah that means 3 meals or 4 meals. So far, so good. However, the Sefa is going to give us a problem. The minority opinion here of the BOS, who says always 3, no matter what. You see, 3 is the maximum, and so it doesn't matter what time of the day. So that shows that the BOS says 3, and Takama also thinks 3. The BOS says it doesn't matter what time, it's always 3. So Nakama says 3, 3 depending on what time, but 3 is the max, not 4. Therefore, our Mishnah does not follow Rabbi Chidka's opinion, but rather Rabbanan. Okay, good. We're able to prove that. Now, we have yet another Mishnah. This is Mishnah Masechet Pe'ah, where it talks about the laws of giving charity. Vaditnan, mi sheyesh lo mezon sheteh seudot, lo yitol min hatamhoi. Mezon 14 lo yitol min hakupa. Tamhoi and kupa are different charity organizations that would give out. And it says, so they would make sure everyone has sufficient food. If someone has enough money to buy 2 meals for Shabbat, then they don't get any more money from the charity box. In other words, the charity box is only going to give them 2, not 3 meals. And if they have 14, meaning for the whole week, then they cannot take from the kuppah. So whose opinion is this Mishnah that says only 2 a day? It seems that this follows neither opinion, because this is assuming that 2 meals a day is sufficient, and not 3 and not 4. If it's Rabbanan, you should need 15 meals for the whole week, right? 14 normal and then 1 extra for Shabbat. If it's B'chidka, you need 16 meals, 14 normal meals and then 2 extra for Shabbat. So you see, it follows neither. No, we can fix it. It can actually be Rabbanan. And what we do is we tell them, yeah, I know you're going to have 2 meals a day. So you have your Friday night meal, that's the normal one. You have the Shabbat meal, and then whatever you're going to eat the Saturday night meal, have it earlier before sunset, and that way you'll have 3 meals on Shabbat. So you can fit in, if you just move around before sunset, after sunset, you can fit the 2 meals a day. You can have 3 of them within the Shabbat time period. So according to that, it seems like it could follow Rabbanan, but still, Rabbi Chidka, you can't do it. Oh, let's try to fit in Rabbi Chidka and get 4 meals. We say the Friday lunch meal, they would have 2 meals a day. It was kind of like a brunch and a dinner. So the Friday brunch, delay it until Friday, right when Shabbat starts, and then you have 3, and then you have another one that you'll save for Friday night, or maybe you'll have it early Saturday morning, and then you have the 2 of Shabbat. So you can actually fit 4, even though you're only having 2 a day, you push them off to have all 4. Hold on, that doesn't make sense. All day Friday, the person is going to be fasting. That's not normal. We're trying to take care of the poor person, not to make him fast. So rather, the Mishnah in Pe'as follows Rabbi Akiva, who says that's better to make your Shabbat feel like a regular day and have only 2 meals rather than have to take charity from others. In other words, the honor of not taking charity is more important than having the extra meals on Shabbat. And so even Rabbi Akiva would agree that if someone can afford it, then you should have 3 meals or 4 meals. And so there's no contradiction between the Mishnah and Pe'ah regarding charity and our Mishnah and our law. Okay, but we're not out of the woods yet, because another Mishnah regarding charity says that if a poor person is going from place to he's traveling and is going through your city, then we give him not less than a loaf that's worth a pundion when the market price of flour is a certain price. This turns out, according to our current calculations, to be about 6 kabesot, which would be like 6 pitas for the day. And so that's the standard amount. Now, that would be what you would need normally for 2 meals. If he's sleeping there, then we have to pay for his accommodations to sleep. So here you go. If it is Shabbat, then we give him 3 meals during the day. Okay, so you see that according to this, on Shabbat you have 3 meals and not 4. So you see this follows Rabbanan and not Rabbi Chidka, not 3, not 4. Now we could say maybe it does follow him. Maybe he had 1 meal. Usually someone that travels is not going to travel completely empty-handed. You're going to travel with 1 meal. So that 1 meal plus we give him 3. So you see that's 4. Whatever you have, eat. If you do that, then he's gonna, when he leaves and goes to the next place, he's gonna leave empty-handed, and that's not good either. We don't want him to do that. We give him yet another one. So in other words, he has 1, we give him 3, he eats 4, and then when he leaves, the Mishnah didn't mention it, but we'll give him yet another one, and so we can fit this into the Rabbi Chidka. Okay, by the way, a tangent, my parnasat lina, doesn't mean that you provide accommodations. Amar Papa, purya ube sadya. We give him a bed and cushions so he can sleep on. Okay, so we resolve that baraita according to both opinions, that Mishnah according to both opinions. Tanur banan, ke'arot shachal behen albit, madichan le'echol behen shacharit. Shacharit madichan le'echol behen b'sahoraim. B'sahoraim madichan le'echol behen mincha. Okay, now a general law about the different meals, that the plates, the platters and bowls that you ate at night, you're allowed to wash them so that you can eat the second meal. And you're allowed to wash them after the second meal so that you can eat the third meal in the afternoon. After that, what's the point of washing the dishes? You're not going to have another meal. And if that's so, then you're just eating, you're preparing for after Shabbat. And you're not allowed to prepare on Shabbat for after Shabbat. So therefore, just leave them dirty until afterwards. However, cups, ladles, flasks, drinking things, anytime you always might want to go and drink have another drink. So those you're allowed to wash every time you use them. Nowadays, I mean, the general custom is to wash dishes because we're not only washing dishes to prepare for the next meal, but also kind of if some people don't like to have that dirt around and so bothers their Shabbat itself if everything's dirty. Okay. Amar Rabbi Shimon ben Pazi, Amar Rabbi Yoshua ben Levi, Mishum bar kapara. Kol mekayem shalosh seudot b'Shabbat, nisol mishalosh pur'aniyot. So now, different agadot in praise of eating 3 meals. If whoever eats three meals a day is saved from 3 terrible punishments. Mecheb lo shel Mashiach, medina shel Gehinam, melchemet Gog uMagog. Be saved from the birth pangs of Mashiach. Mashiach is wonderful when he comes, just like when a baby comes. However, before that, there are the pangs the painful birth pangs before it comes, and also from the judgment in Gehinam, and from the war also at the end of days of Gog uMagog, this Gog, the king of Magog, which was going to come and have a great war against Jerusalem. How do we know each of these things? Because of the word Hayom. Remember, we had the pasuk back in the man that said Hayom 3 times. So all these pasukim also mention the word Yom. Yom. So there you go. That before Mashiach comes, Eliyahu comes, and that's called the day. That's a pasuk in Sefanya. That's talking specifically about Gehinam, but it does mention darkness, and so the Midrash is associating it with Gehinam. מלחמת גוג ומגוג, כתיב היום וכתיבתה ביום בו גוג. And so the point is, Shabbat is, we call it Me'en Olam Haba. And so when you have that enjoyment, when someone, even during great times of persecution, I think Jews were able to come to Shabbat and then be enclosed in this in the world of the relaxation and holiness of Shabbat, and they could forget about all the persecution and everything that was going on around them, at least for 24 hours a week. אמר רבי יוחנן משום רבי יוסי, כל המענג את השבת נותנים לו נחלה בלי מסרים, שנאמר, אז תתענג על אדוני ורכבתיך במות הארץ ואכלתיך נחלת יעקב אביך. Right, famous pasukim we say in the Adus. If you enjoy Shabbat, then one will get great reward without boundaries. Okay, so לא כאברהם שכתוב בו קום התהלך בארץ לאורכה, לא כיצחק שכתוב בו כי לך על זרעך אתן את כל ארצות האל, אלא כיעקב שכתוב בו פרסת ימה וקדמה וצפונה ונגבה. Not like Abraham and Yaakov, their blessings were, you will get the land, but it had borders, right? These lands. Whereas Yaakov, it says all directions, and so that's the blessing of Shabbat that can transcend boundaries. רב נחמן בר יצחק אמר, ניסול משעבוד גלויות, כתיב האחר ותקבתיך במות הארץ. He's saved from the oppression of exile, as it says, you will ride the heights of the world, you'll be above any of the political oppression that will happen in the world. כתיב התם, ואתה במותמו תדרוך, right? You will trample upon their high places. Okay, and ואמר רב יהודה אמר רב, כל המענג את השבת נותנים לו משאלות ליבו, שנאמר ויתענג על אדוני וייתן לך משאלות ליבך. עונג זה איני יודע מהו, כשאומר וקראת השבת עונג, הווה אומר זה עונג שבת. So anyone who enjoys Shabbat, he will asks for. Pasuk in Mizmor 37, this is one of the broken acrostics, and it says here, "V'hit anag," and if you hit anag al Hashem, if you bring enjoyment in a holy way because of Hashem, then God will answer all of your prayers. And what is that oneg? We compare it to the word oneg that comes up in Yeshaya, referring to Shabbat. How does one delight on Shabbat? רב יהודה ורב שמואל בר שרת ושמת רב אמר, בתבשיל של תרדין ודגים גדולים וראשי שומים. Delicious. Some beet dish, large fish, and a head of garlic. Sounds great. רב חייא בר אשר אמר רב, אפילו דבר מועט ולכבוד שבת עשו הרי זה עונג. מה היא? אמר פאפה, כסה דהרסנה. Even a small thing, if it's something that you do for Shabbat and something that you enjoy, that's good. For example, Rav Papa liked small fries. That was his enjoyment. אמר רבי חייא בר אבא אמר רבי יוחנן, כל משמש שבת כהלכתו, אפילו עובד עבודה זרה, כדור אנוש מוחלין לו, שנאמר, אשרי אנוש יעשה זאת, מחללו, אל תקרא מחללו, אלא מחול לו. Oh, that's fantastic. Even someone who practices idolatry, if he keeps Shabbat, then his evil practices are forgiven. Because we reread mechalelo, making desecrating to aholo, that person will be forgiven. It's the power of Shabbat. Eventually, they'll come around. You know, we see a lot of times people when they experience a Shabbat the first time in their lives, and they change the rest of their ways too. שמרו ישראל שבת ראשונה, לא שלטה בהן אומה ולשון, שנאמר, ויהי ביום השביעי יעשו מן העם ללקוט, וכתיבת ראה ויבוא עמלק. If only, Rav says, if only that Bnei Israel would have kept that first Shabbat, remember the first Shabbat when they went out and looked for the man, even though they weren't supposed to. If only they had, then the enemy nations would not have been in control of them. As it says, the people did go out, and right after, we have the story of Amalek comes and attacks them. So it's putting these two stories that are back to back and saying that one is the cause of the next. אמר רבי יוחנן, משום רבי שמעון בן יוחאי, אלמלא משמרים שדה שבתות כהלכתן, מיד נגאלין, שנאמר, כה אמר אדוני לסריסים אשר ישמרו את שבתות. So the power of Shabbat is both for its negative, but also for positive. If only his famous statement, Israel would keep two Shabbatot properly, they would be redeemed, because God says to the Sarisim, to the eunuchs, they have no kids, and then they're all depressed. They says, we have no future, we are not part of the nation. Hashem tells them, just keep the Shabbat, and the good things that will happen to you will be even greater than children. Okay. Amar Rabbi Yosei Yechelki be'ochrei shelosh se'ud b'sudot b'Shabbat. Rabbi Yosei says, I wish I could be among those who eat 3 meals on Shabbat. My reward should be among them. I don't know why it was difficult for him. Maybe he couldn't afford it, or for some reason difficult. Amar Rabbi Yosei, he also said, Yechelki me'gomerei Hallel b'chol yom. I wish I could be among those who says Hallel, finishes Hallel each and every day. Okay, this is a very famous Gemara. Ini, is that true? How could he say that? We have another statement that says, anyone who reads Hallel every day is a blasphemer. Why would it be a blasphemer? What's wrong with saying Hallel? Sounds like it would be a wonderful thing. The reason is because when you say Hallel every day, then you're saying nothing special. We keep Hallel only for to commemorate special holidays, special miracles, and so those become special. If you say it every day, then you're kind of downgrading. You know, like every day is Father's Day is a good excuse of not giving your father a present. And so that would be blaspheming. So how could it be said? Be among those who finishes Hallel every day. When he said that, he didn't mean Hallel, the official Hallel HaMitzri, 113 to 118, but rather the Pesukei Zimra, the Hallelujah that we say every day. So he wishes he could be among those. Okay, it's interesting for a couple of reasons. One is that it means that not everybody said all the Hallelujah every day. They said them slowly and with kavanah. So, if a lot of people didn't have time to say all of them properly, so not everyone said them. But he wishes he could sit and be able to say them every day. And second, this is very important when it comes to saying days Hallel or finishing Hallel. Says Gomrei Hallel specifically on other days like Yom Ha'atzmaut, Yom Yerushalayim. The controversy about those days centers around this Talmud. You shouldn't say it every day. So when is it appropriate to add and when not? Amar Rabbi Yosef, this is, I wish my portion would be among those who pray and when the sun is red. In other words, during sunrise and sunset. Mitzvah to do that. Those who fear you with the sun, they do so with the sun and before the moon in every generation. I think this makes sense because so much of the tefillah is about the transition between day and night and day. And so to be able to pray while you're actually experiencing, Ma'ariv Aravim and Yosef Or, this gives one extra kavanah. That's interesting. He wishes he could die from intestinal disease. That sounds like a horrible way to die. Yet he wants it because most tzaddikim die in this way. It's specifically that suffering that will cleanse their sins. So he is asking for suffering. I wish I will die while I'm performing on my way to performing a mitzvah. Which is interesting because we have another Gemara that says, Shilochem mitzvah and nezukin. One who is on the way to mitzvah will not be harmed. But we see that he does not assume that that's true. And rather, good things happen, bad things happen. Better to be on the way to mitzvah whenever something happens. Amar Rabbi Yosef, Shabbat, V'Tiberia, Mosiyeh Shabbat, I wish I would bring in Shabbat in Tiberias. That's where it's a valley, so it starts early. And I want to leave Shabbat and Sipori, which is on a hill, and then the sun sets later. So you learn from here that it's a nice thing to add a few minutes to Shabbat before and after, which is our custom. That's why we have the time of candlelighting, and so we start a few minutes before. I want to be from those who sit in the Bet HaMidrash and study, and not from those who stand in the Bet Midrash. Here they explain to stand as one of the people announcing, or maybe Ma'amideh means one of the people that supports it monetarily. It's also a good thing. But he wants to be actually sitting there, being the one to study Torah. All these are the Yosef. We see what his tefillot were like, right? He's praying to be among great righteous, do great righteous things. It's always good to be involved in charity, but better to be one who collects charity than one who gives it out. Because when you collect, you go around and you have a set amount and you collect it. When you're giving out charity, you have a set amount, but maybe the need is greater, and then you might be responsible if you give less than or don't give to someone who needs it. So it's a much tougher responsibility to give out tzedakah. I hope I will be someone who is suspected of sin, but I don't have, but it's not true, but it won't be true. Well, it's certainly better than being suspected, and it is true, but maybe better to not be suspected at all. People suspected me, but it was no cause for that suspicion. Maybe the point is that it's good for people to be suspicious, because that way that keeps you vigilant and knowing that people are on the lookout, so you'll be extra careful not to violate. אמר רבי יוסף, 5 בעילות בעלתי, ונתתי 5 ארזים בישראל. So I had 5 times I had relations with my wife, and I planted 5 cedars in Israel. In other words, his children were strong foundations like cedar trees. Who are they? Rabbi Shmuel ben Rabbi Yosef, Rabbi Elazar ben Rabbi Yosef, Rabbi Chalafta ben Rabbi Yosef, Rabbi Avtilas ben Rabbi Yosef, Rabbi Menachem ben Rabbi Yosef. Okay, all children of Rabbi Yosef, each of them great sages. Vardimas. Hold on, he had another son. His name was Vardimas. Hainu Vardimas, Hanu Menachem. It's the same person. The last of the 5 was the same guy. He was called Vardimas because Vered means rose. He had a red complexion like a rose, like a rose. That was just, but it was only a nickname. Hold on, he just said he had only 5 times he was ever with his wife, so he didn't fulfill the duties of a husband to be with his wife on a regular basis. No, he did on a regular basis, but 5 times he was with his wife twice in a row because he wanted to have sons. Right, so that's that's a trick, how to have boys. Okay. Amar Rabbi Yosef, amai lo kariti lishti ishti ul shori shori, ella lishti beti ul shori sadi. He never called his wife a wife, but rather he called his wife a home. And he called his ox not ox, but rather my field. In other words, they represent, they take care of. This is reminds me of what former member of Knesset Ruth Calderon said. This teaches that someone who has no wife is homeless. He says he never looked at his private member. He's so modest. Right, the composer of the Mishnah was known as Rabbeinu HaKadosh. Why was he called HaKadosh? Because again, he never looked at his Brit Milah. So how come we don't call Rabbi Yosef HaKadosh? No, he was kadosh. Was kadosh because besides not looking, he also never put his hand near his privates. So he was even more humble, more modest. And so he's called Hakadosh. He says the walls of my house never saw the seams of my robe. In other words, he would always undress under the sheets already, and so that when he's taking off his clothes, even his clothes are under the sheets, and that's how modest he was. He says, I never violate the words of my colleagues. If they tell me to do something, I do it, even to this extent. I know I'm not from a lineage of Kohen. But if my colleagues would say, go to the Dukhan, go do Birkat Kohanim, I would go. Even though that is actually a violation. It says only the Kohanim are supposed to give. But that's how much he respected his colleagues' opinions. I never said something and took back my words. He was always very careful to say the correct thing, and he never would deny something he said, even if it was something negative. Okay, that was a whole series of things from Rabbi Yosef. Now we're getting back. Nachman says, I should receive reward. Rabbi Yosef said it as a prayer. Nachman says, after a long time, he says, I always had 3 seudot on Shabbat, so I deserve reward for that. And now we have other people that said a similar formulation. Amar Rabbi Yehuda, Teti li dekayamit ayun tefillah. I always analyze the tefillah. I'm very careful in its kavanah. Amar Ravuna bered Rav Yoshua, Teti li de la segena arba mot begiloi harosh. I never walked 4 mot with my head uncovered, and this is an important source for wearing kippah. Marav Shesha, Teti li dekayamit misvat tefillin. I deserve a reward because I fulfilled tefillin. Nachman Teti li dekayamit misvat sisit. He fulfilled sisit. It was also interesting because doesn't everybody fulfill sisit and tefillin? Perhaps they fulfilled it in an extra more mehudar way. Rav Yosef bered Rabba. Avuch b'may zahir tefeh. In what way was your father? What was he very careful in? What was his favorite mitzvah? Maleh be'sisit. Always careful in mitzvah sisit. Jamachad hava kasalek bedarga. Ifsik le'achuta. Lanachit v'ava kama derla rameh. One day he was going up the stairs, and a string got caught and ripped, and he would not come back down the stairs until he was brought a new garment. He wouldn't want to even take one step without having the proper sisit on. Amar Abaye Teti li dechichazen asum rabbanan deshalem masechta abedana yomat abad rabbanan. He says, I deserve reward because whenever I saw someone who studied a whole masechet and finished, I would make a party for him. And this is a good source for making a party at the siyum masechet. Hopefully, we'll be able to make a party when we finish this Masechet Shabbat. Amar Rabba, now we encourage people to learn more. Amar Rabba tetili dechi ata suban rabbanan lakamai ledina la mazegna reshi abe saja kama de la mehapechna bizchute. If I had a judgment with a Torah scholar who was one of the plaintiffs, then I would not go to sleep. I would not put my head on the pillow until I found something in his merit. Obviously, we have to be something he actually deserved, not just make up something. But in other words, he'd work extra hard to find a point of possible innocence for him. This is kind of says the opposite, right? I mean, it's along the same lines, but it says because he loves sages so much, he disqualifies himself from being a judge because he knows he's going to be partial. All right, so this is really against the first one statement said, yeah, I'm partial, I put extra effort in. Second one, I'm partial, therefore I can't be trusted to be a judge. You have to recuse, he recuses himself. My ta'ama, de chabiba like gufai, they are beloved to me as myself. And adam ro'eh chava le'asmo, and the person never finds fault in himself. The same reason why someone who is related cannot be a judge for a close relation. Baruch Adonai Olam, amen v'amen. Beautiful Agadot today.